I drove the Tesla Cybertruck daily. I daily drove it every single day for 1 whole week. Here's what I learned. This truck, or Tesla Cybertruck, is a big vehicle, but that's pretty obvious, especially if you're coming from Model 3, Model Y, S, or even X. This is the biggest vehicle that Tesla has on the lineup. But really the size of it, you don't feel it with the height, you don't really feel it from the width, you feel it with the back end when you're driving around and really just driving into any spaces in parking lots and garages and other places like that. The biggest thing that's kind of weird is the front of the Cybertruck. From where you're sitting to the front, you really underestimate, or you really second guess yourself a lot when you're pulling into spaces, when you're making turns, when you're doing a U-turn in a parking spot and you might think you're gonna hit the wall. Because of how it's situated, you really feel like you don't have a lot of space, but you actually always, for the most part, have another foot or two when you're making these tight turns in a parking space. And what's really nice is the front camera. Let me show you. So here we are, we're gonna turn on the front camera and you can see it's a nice, huge visible display from the front side. We can swipe down, and then of course we've got the rear camera as well. Whenever you're turning, you can always see pretty clearly in front that you're always going to have a lot of space in front of you in these tight spots. So this front camera right here is a lifesaver and really makes the daily driving of this truck pretty easy. But the big issue is the rear. I mean, it's not really an issue. It's just something you need to get used to, especially if you're gonna be daily driving a truck like this. The length of it is much longer than any other Tesla vehicle. And also, I guess it's the same as other trucks as well. The second thing I learned is that not having Autopilot, or even not having full self-driving, these packages that we paid so much money for, not having it, really sucks, especially when you're driving on the highway or driving through cities. You get used to Autopilot in every sort of Tesla vehicle, and so not having it really does suck, and maybe that's gonna be coming in the near future, hopefully. But definitely not knocking how it drives. This Cybertruck drives super stable. I mean, you've probably seen a lot of different reviews, including ours, how this is probably the most nicest Tesla that you can drive currently that Tesla sells, even nicer than a Model X. But even though it drives really nicely, the one thing it does really lack on is efficiency in terms of how much energy it converts to miles when you're driving. Let me show you the actual trip screen to show you where we're at for the full 6,500 miles we've driven so far. These top two boxes, the current drive at 9 miles of distance at 475 watt-hours per mile. Of course, you want the lower the number, the better. If you go to this screen in any other Tesla, even the Model 3, Model Y, this number is going to be lower than 300, maybe 350. Second box right here, since the last charge, you can see the efficiency numbers are pretty much the same as for today because, you know, we've been driving and we charged today as well. The last two boxes is really where we see the total efficiency. Trip A, we reset it about 1,900 miles ago, and we've been getting a 440 watt-hour per miles for efficiency. And then lastly, our total miles, 6,487 at average efficiency of 469 watt-hours per mile. But it's kind of given, right? This is a big truck. This is a big stainless steel Tesla truck, and you're gonna have bad efficiency, so you really can't expect the best, but it still is gonna be pretty annoying because you're most likely gonna have to charge this every single night or even every other few nights after you drive it. And the last thing you might be wondering, it's a truck. How are you gonna drive this every single day? It's big, it's tall, and a lot of people freak out because it looks like it is a massive vehicle, but in actuality, the height of it, how low it gets, especially in entry mode and low mode, you really don't have to worry about parking garages and anything like that. Every single parking garage that I've gone to usually says like 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot, and the Cybertruck is always lower than that. In fact, there's a screen in the Cybertruck that you can swipe to that shows you real-time height of the Cybertruck, which is really cool and super helpful when you're driving it around. Let me show you how to access it. Once you're in the Tesla UI just like this, you're gonna see Spotify or music is piped in like here. All you have to do is swipe it 3 times to the right and it shows you real time your PSI of all the tires as well as your height and clearance. So right now our total height of the Cybertruck is 5 foot 8 inches. If we raise this up all the way to high, you can see in real time our clearance goes up and also the height of the truck goes up. So even at the highest, as it pumps up all the way there, we're still 6'1", which not bad. I haven't run into any issues yet going through different garages in Los Angeles, and you probably won't either depending on where you go.